I was gay for the fitness and the fashion alone. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I'm straight, but I'd love to be in gay shape. You know what I mean? You ever meet a gay dude in great shape every fucking time, man? It's so impressive. You need to stay. That's the guy's name, Jim. They just stay in there. They just turn it out. Go to the calendar. All the dedication. That's next level fitness, bro. That's that level of industry.
He's fucking funny. I didn't know you were here yet. No, yeah. Set this on moderate for now. I've never played this one, so this is like the Thief's Collection or whatever. Uncharted games like really like use the power of the PS4 to like its max. Naughty Dog, they make The Last of Us as well. This is like a little offshoot where you're like this female character that I'm not familiar with. Just go moderate for now. Lock on aim. Let's see. Camera assist automatically aligns the camera to the direction of your movement. Let's keep it all off for now. I literally took an hour. I mean, I ate. Got that out of the way. But I literally took an hour looking for something to play. You know, I'm trying to play like an ARPG, like scratch the itch, but Diablo's competitor, what's it called? I don't know. Anyway, it's like impenetrable as far as like how difficult it is to get into. You have to like research the game for like 2 weeks just to learn how to play it. It's so complex. And in Diablo 3, which I've already gotten like 1,000 hours on Diablo 3, I would definitely fucking play that shit right now with you. But it's on sale like all year for like $20, like I was saying on text. I'm not gonna pay fucking $50 for it when I already own it on PC.
Half price if you buy two.
Wow. You again? Is this your store?
No, my father's.
How much?
800 rupees, please.
800 rupees.
Okay, for you, 550.
Incredible. So, does your father usually leave you here alone?
No, he's away fighting the rebels.
Oh. The Indian Army called him up, did they?
No, he volunteered.
Really? Well, if it was my choice, I wouldn't leave you here alone. All right. That's 300.
Better deal. 400 rupees plus Ganesh.
You don't want this. It's broken. See?
You don't know the story? Ganesh fought Parashuram while standing guard at his father's door.
Yes, to defend the honor of his father, Shiva, and got his tusk hacked off for his troubles.
Interesting.
Anyway, it's not for sale. Right on time. Okay, look. 600 rupees. You can keep the change.
Hey, wait! Hey! You need the guy.
Oh? And what'll that cost me?
Open the damn bag. I need to get these supplies.
அப்பா எப்படி இருக்காரு? வீட்டுக்கு நன்றி. உடம்பு
Excuse me.
What?
Don't get me wrong. Decent technique on the lift. But I'd like my Ganesh back. Please.
Fine.
A for effort, kid.
செம்ம விலைங்க.
எனக்கு வந்தாங்க
பண்ணிங்கன்னே தெரியும்.
தெரியல. ஆனா கண்டிப்பா என் அப்பா கிட்ட இருந்து வாங்கிட்டு வரேன்.
People aren't allowed across the bridge. It's too dangerous.
Listen, kid. It's been really fun. You need to make yourself scarce.
I have a spare bed in the store. 300 rupees. Best deal in all of India.
Okay, no thanks. I need to get on this truck.
Bad idea. The rebels, they hurt people.
Listen. I need to help my friend, okay? Tell you what. When I get back, pizza's on me. Deal?
Deal.
Good. Shit. Damn it.
Sir,
Wait!
sir,
Oh,
please.
God.
My dad, we were eating ice cream. I can't find him. I can't get home without him.
It's okay.
He was standing over there. I was talking to the man. I turned around and he was gone.
Hey, what the fuck?
On that truck before it goes.
Slow down. Tell me where you are.
Wait! There he is! There he is!
Those poor bastards. Okay. Red door. That's it. Better than nothing. Here we go. It's just an active war zone. Nothing you can't handle.
Yeah. So like the Uncharted games are like kind of like Indiana Jones, like search for lost treasure and shit like that. They get really epic, like really, really over the top action and epic.
Why are they still here?
I don't know what the storyline of
Get
this
out while
one
you
is,
can.
but
Move, let's go.
it's gonna be about some kind of treasure hunt.
I've done nothing wrong.
Damn spies. What? No. Shut up.
Stop lying. Go on. Move it. God fucked around, man. I swear to you.
I said get in the truck, now!
Damn it. Checkpoint.
Yes, sir. You, come with me.
क्या कर रहा है भाग यहाँ इस तरफ यहाँ जाओ यहाँ मार देंगे तुझे चल जल्दी जल्दी निकल
Guess I don't have a choice.
Hey, hold on. What's your rush? How do I know you're not smuggling something in here? Arms up.
Hey.
It's dangerous to be out so late.
Hey! Where do you live? What are you, deaf? Answer him! I said, where do you live?
Arabtazon.
I'm in the middle of something.
It can wait.
Yes, sir.
Meet me inside.
Understood. You, with me. Man the gun.
Sir, what about her?
Just let her through.
You heard him. Get going.
Lucky for them, I've got somewhere to be. Red door. Check. Not this way.
You're alive. Don't smoke. You're useless. I can't say that you want.
And that's that.
Come along, friend.
Yeah. Please up.
We should get off the streets.
Our shift ends in an hour.
I need sleep.
You can sleep in the truck.
No, thank you.
Is that the last of them?
Almost. There's a couple more in the alley.
Moving out tonight. Can't wait. Tired of these.
No. Assad says 1 week.
Another week in this shithole.
Remember the end goal, brother.
Okay.
You still have that bottle of coconut Arab?
My mind? What is it worth to you?
Great timing.
Not good enough.
Where the hell did you get a bottle of Arak anyway?
Pink Lotus. The hell does that mean?
Join the real. This place is a shithole.
Nice and easy.
Out of these small operations, you can take a fight to the tyrant.
Asaf says he needs more time.
Government thinks you're a joke.
They won't think that for much longer.
Fuck. Son of a bitch.
Safe. Indian Army's not messing around.
Pink Lotus.
Ah, Pink Lotus. Not what I was picturing.
Was at least two targets. One was the warehouse, the other.
You're in the wrong place, girl.
What the hell?
I've got you.
You're late, Fraser. I see you too.
Holy shit! They took out the first squad!
What the hell was that? I thought you were a professional.
Oh, you should relax. You'll live longer.
Relax. It took me weeks to track down Asaf. The man's as unpredictable as they come.
He's just another warmonger with no water fight.
No, you don't know him like I do. He changes location and routines by the hour. We'd be foolish to take unnecessary risks.
Let's get one thing straight. This is my gig. You want your share? We Play by my rules. What's it gonna be?
It's pretty good.
the one with the
The
pig.
action. Being a
That's
couple
the
years
spirit.
old.
Handsome.
If you're into psychopaths.
Nobody's perfect. Where's base camp?
Top floor balcony.
All right.
Let's do this. Had a street route all planned out. But they'll be looking for us now. What do you suggest?
I'll think of something. Come on. I'll give you a boost up. There you go. Thank you. Follow me.
Almost fell.
There. That wasn't so bad.
Now what?
Patience. Up here.
Really?
Really. Careful on this one.
You sure this is safe?
No.
Probably where I need to go anyway.
Come on. This way.
We realize we're moving away from a soft stand.
Yeah, we're taking the long way.
Now I see why you're always late.
Shut up, bitch.
Just one more hour.
I'll take him out.
No, I got it.
Cobra 1 to Cobra 5, over.
Received, Cobra 1.
Get to the Pink Lotus. We have activity, over.
Copy that, Cobra 1. Shit.
Adequate work. Well, where to now?
Up. Okay. Just exploring our options. Sit tight. Well, she certainly lives up to her reputation. Here we go.
Okay, so it doesn't want me to go on this roof.
Sorry about that.
How about we avoid crates from now on?
Okay, good deal. There's some cheap office supplies if you want them.
You're always this talkative on the job.
Yeah.
Above you.
One less problem.
Oof.
It's just above us.
See? That wasn't so bad. It wasn't. This will just take a moment. There's one. Oh, that works.
Let's find that disc.
Thank you very much. Watch our backs, yeah?
Yeah. Christ. It's like walking through an antique shop.
He's been a busy boy.
How much do you think it's all worth?
Enough to keep his little insurrection going for quite some time. Oh, horrible. Lots of curious cats here.
Speaking of.
Good point.
It doesn't bother you. These are all Indian artifacts.
It's not my fight. destroyer and transformer. Salah and the tiger. Maybe he's closer than I thought. I'll just borrow this.
Fraser.
Mm-hmm.
Come here.
That looks promising.
It's locked.
Not for long.
What was that map?
Western Ghats, Hoysala territory.
Shit.
No, it's all right. Nothing we didn't already know. Shit. Oh, missed it.
Need me to do it?
Nope.
It's beautiful. It's time to go.
Nadine Ross. What a pleasant surprise. Careful, brothers. This tiger's got claws.
Asov.
Oh, all these years. And you haven't aged a day.
You're too kind.
Are you looking for work? I hear that Shoreline's under new management.
Temporary setback. Nothing I can't handle.
Of course, of course. Pidgey, though. My men and I could use someone of your caliber. Why are you here? I mean, this isn't your area of expertise.
It is a nice collection, I must say. Chloe Fraser, collector of antiquities.
A thief? You're working for a thief.
Sir, we have a situation.
What?
I'll be right there. The disc.
Oh, right. About that. At first, I mistook you for just an average rebel.
Oh.
But you have managed to find the Hoysala Empire. That's not bad. Their greatest treasure, the Tusk of Ganesh. Now that's not an easy find.
What are you doing?
3 Persian invasions, 3 separate wars, and all these years later, no one has found it.
We're close.
You're lost. And the only chance you have of even narrowing down its location is to find someone who can help you crack this artifact.
Someone with an extensive knowledge of Hoysala society.
Exactly.
An expert in their culture and history.
My rates are reasonable.
A parasite who exploits our struggle in order to fatten her pockets.
So that's a no.
You've got balls. I like that. But I don't need any more so-called experts. Shoot them. Throw their bodies in the river.
No need. We'll throw ourselves out.
After them!
Come on! We need to get
Here we go. Sick of it being slow.
hell was that back there?
Messy but effective.
You were going to sell me out, weren't you?
It's called improvisation. God, who's being unprofessional now?
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
It means you let Asav get the jump on us. I'm starting to wonder whether you're worth the 50%.
I knew it. You were going to give me up. Guess a limpet can't change her spots.
You know nothing about me.
Fair warning. Last person who betrayed me wound up dead. There's your river.
Yeah? And your guy better be there. Shit! Yeah, well, time to go! Come on! Right behind you! Oh, this is dangerous! Oh, no! Fuck him! Thanks! Come on! You still have this? Yeah. Keep moving. Watch out! Oh,
Steady.
oh, God!
Steady.
Last door! Bloody! Don't come this way! Let's go! Oh, okay! I'm okay!
Oh shit. I accidentally pressed circle and let go of that shit.
Don't stop! Keep moving! This is going great! Stop pouring rain!
Fucking A. What the fuck?
Follow me! River's just below! Slide down the line! Here we go! How are we going out there?
On schedule. Should hit land in about an hour.
Great.
The tusk of Ganesh. No wonder the Hoysala capital was ransacked. Look at this thing. Any luck?
I don't need luck.
I'd say we can use all the luck we can get.
Are you still hung up on Asav's so-called expert? Don't worry.
If Asav's not in the Gets already, he'll be right on our heels. Plus, he's got weapons, transport, hundreds of men.
Like I said, don't worry.
Looks like some kind of key.
Maybe. Let's see. Okay. The trident was Ganesh's weapon. The bow and arrow was Parashurama's. And the axe was a gift from Shiva. The Great Battle.
What?
The battle in which Ganesh lost his tusk. I bet we find these symbols. We find the tusk.
Not bad, Fraser.
Yeah, well. You thank my dad for that. Hindu myths were his thing.
It rubbed off? You must be proud.
Sun's almost up.
I'll go get ready. Nice work.
Pretty, man.
Nearly there. It is a long way to go
Naughty
to settle
Dog's
an
good,
argument.
probably. Like, they're
Just
a
for
good
my peace
team.
of mind, all right?
Well, nice view. And look. How weird. I'm sorry I doubted you, Chloe.
Is Hoysala?
Hoysala. It's not a modern structure, so we're definitely on the right track. What?
I don't like it.
You don't like anything.
No. We've gone nearly 100 kilometers with no sign of Asov.
Glass half full, maybe we got the jump on them.
Unlikely.
I'll find the tusk. Asav's on you.
Understood. Meet you back at the car.
Yep. Ah, right where I left it. Oh, maybe I should take the trail. Amazing landscape.
Come on!
Oh, crap! My tree bridge fell. Can you make it across? Working on it. I'm fine, by the way. Here we go. Okay.
You still down there?
Yep. Still here.
Great. Just checking.
Here, give me your hand.
I'm good, actually.
Okay. Want me to drive?
Nope.
I don't mind.
I do. It's a control thing.
Sure.
Let's just enjoy the serenity, shall we?
Got a dumb question.
So much for that.
How do you know the tusk is still there?
It would have turned up in a museum or something by now, right? Plus, I haven't seen any Hoysala exhibitions.
I've never even heard about Hoysala before this job.
Yeah, well, that's the fault of their last king, really. Young, reckless, flaunted his empire's wealth, built a new capital to house the tusk, and then led the Persians right to their doorstep. Hey, look! Flamingo convention.
Have you done that before? Oh, look at them flamingos. Oh shit. That's dope. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. It's not much of like an indicator.
See your way forward? Looking. Refreshing.
Could have warned me.
Oh, where's the fun in that? So, So, quite nice to be outdoors, isn't it? Away from the city. Quieter. You come back here often? No, not really. Boy up ahead, go down. Oh, look at this. Hoysala ruins.
Can we get through that gate?
I'll check it out.
The old capitals. What have we got?
Halabadu and Balor.
I thought these were Ganesh and Shiva.
Someone's been paying attention. Ganesh was the guardian of Halabadu, the newer of the Hoysala capitals. Shiva was the guardian of the former capital, Balor.
Well, the stonework is beautiful. But this isn't much of a defensive wall.
Sculptor's quarters, by the look of it. We're still on the outskirts.
Didn't take you for an archaeologist.
That would be my dad, actually. I'm just a thief, remember? Hey, is the rental equipped with a winch?
Looks that way.
Great. That'll make short work of these gates.
What, you're just going to pull them down?
That's the plan, unless you brought dynamite.
This is your gig.
Take that as a no. Right. That should do the trick.
Fraser, move! It's an ambush! Shit! Take cover!
Thanks for the heads up.
Fucking hell.
There you are!
Bitch.
Okay,
If I did.
we're clear.
Right. Where were we?
You were about to pull down an ancient gate.
Yeah, I was. And there we go. You're awfully quiet.
I'm just surprised is all. Figured you'd be more of a leave no trace type when it comes to Indian runes.
Sentimentality in this line of work? Get you killed. Give me a second.
I can wait.
What? They're just large flying rodents.
Actually, no, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
They're closer to primates and lemurs.
Okay, well, I'll look it up. There we go. made it.
I think we're on foot from here, no? Maybe not.
Stop! Assault.
Ah. Well spotted.
Shit. He's brought a whole battalion with him. Might even be more inside already.
Hey, I'm flattered that he's taking us so seriously.
We need to get through that gate.
Alright, we'll slow down. Gotta take care of these jokers first.
You have a plan?
Yeah. Sure. Here goes nothing.
Oh shit. I like scratched my face and that guy snagged me. Should probably tag the dude that's up there first. I already did.
Shit! Look! Down there! Damn it! They see us!
How do I reload?
Damn it!
It's a little too easy, man. Put that shit on hard. Wait, did it save? I'll have to start from the beginning of this segment because I
Here goes nothing.
put it on hard. It's gonna be more enemies and shit.
We can handle it to outsiders. Trust in the sun. They do. I must admit, our girls have the right to the name. On God, prove me wrong.
Fucking A, man. I don't know how I got seen like that. Fuck this.
Okay, you're one for subtlety, are you? Not really. Was this really your plan? Sort of. You don't like it? Fraser!
Wow. A difficulty spike, big time. Should have gotten both of them though.
Okay, you're one for subtlety, are you? Not really. Was this really your plan? Sort of. You don't like it?
Jesus Christ, dude. Oh yeah, just guns blazing.
We lost them.
We're clear. Just like I planned.
Yeah.
I'll get the gate open. Bring the car round?
Sure.
Thank you. This looks to be it. Sesame. Okay, bring her up.
Careful.
Always. Back to shotgun.
I'm perfectly capable of driving, you know.
I'm sure you are, honey. I just prefer to.
There's a lot of ground to cover.
True, but unlike your boy Asav, we've got an advantage.
The 3 symbols.
Let's have a look at the map. Okay, let's see. We are right about here. I can mark it up as we go. Check out that tower.
Bet you could get the lay of the land from up top.
Maybe.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for Asav.
Perfect. Not that I'm too worried about him, though.
You should be. You won't have the advantage of surprise again. Don't think he was expecting much from you.
Wait, was that a compliment? That sounded like a compliment.
His guys are idiots, but Asav is... We just need to stay the hell away from him.
Never understood the appeal of people like Asav.
Easy. He finds men who are weak and offers them power. Gives them purpose.
Purpose? Sounds more like bullshit to me. How'd you get tangled up with Asav anyway? Purpose?
Rather not go into it.
He certainly seemed to have a thing for you.
Don't remind me. Proved useful at the time, but... Yeah.
Do tell.
Rather not.
Sorry, I need a moment.
Wait, what? Up and away.
Easy does it.
All right up there?
So far, so good.
Oh shit.
Fraser!
I'm already almost over it. I want more action, less puzzle right now. And so far I'm not really cool with the protagonists. I don't like them at all. I don't like toxic banter between the protagonist in the game. Unless it's like, kind of, I mean, they might develop a better relationship as the game goes on, but it's very similar to like that Forsaken shit where it's like they're just talking shit to each other the whole time. It's toxic as fuck. But she is a thief. And,
Here's our 3 symbols. Well, that took less time than I expected. Shiva's axe. Let's see here. Aimed right at those Hoysala ruins. It's an old fortress, tucked into the mountainside. I'll just mark that on the map with an axe. And behind door number 2. Huh. Wonder what that could be. For future reference. Let's see what's behind the trident door. Another old fortress, just beyond those waterfalls. Trident mark on the map for you.
This is an elevator, should take me down, I would think. I don't want to climb all the way down. It's like a chore. I'm feeling this shit right now. If I have to climb all the way down, I'm gonna quit.
Last but not least, the Bodor. And another old fortress, sitting smack dab in the middle of the lake bed. I'll jot a bow on the map in that spot.
There we go.
Whoa! Guess I should have looked for a call button before climbing up.
Was it worth the climb?
And then some. Found the 3 symbols.
Really?
Yep. Each one was pointing towards a different fortress. Those will be the best places to look.
Perfect.
How'd you get tangled up with the Sav anyway? On purpose?
Rather not go into it.
You certainly seem to have a thing for you.
Don't remind me. Proved useful at the time, but... yeah.
Do tell.
Rather not.
Maybe over drinks?
Not enough alcohol in the world.
I'll be right back.
You got it.
It's a little too... This... I was getting into this because it's usually just like straight on rails. You just play through it. I'm not in the mood to look drive all over the place and trying to figure all this shit out right now. I just wanted some action to play, and that's not what this is turning out to be. It's a lot of shitty banter, and the combat's like, okay, I guess, and graphics are pretty, but I think I'm done with it. Yep, let's find something else. Take it up 90 gigabytes too. It's not a bad game. I mean, Uncharted 4 Thief's End is over the top, but I had a feeling the side shot shit is not going to be, you know, as good. But I know it's just the beginning of it. But I already can't stand the protagonist. I can't see myself like giving a shit about them at all. So. I don't know. I just want to play Diablo. Fuck everything. I just want to play Diablo. I don't know how I'm gonna last like 70 fucking days after the weekend. We're gonna have to get like Diablo 3 or Diablo 2 or Lost Epoch or some kind of AR, over-the-top ARPG. The week's been going pretty quick, at least. I'm excited. Tomorrow's Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday. I think I found out too that you can keep the characters for the rest of the beta. So the characters we made last weekend in the beta, I assumed that they were going to be gone this weekend, but we can pull them out too. And I don't know if I told you, but I started playing Rogue, like I think it was Sunday night. I played Rogue for a while, and I figured out like a bunch of little tweaks and stuff like that that make like my playstyle with him like really good. It's just you know, everything's viable. It's just taking a look first at like your basic skills, the first ones that you unlock, kind of getting an idea of what that's going to generate for the character, because X, like that main attack, is what's called the generator, and that usually does something like generate some kind of resource or like put some kind of effect on an enemy, or you know, does something. And that starts to give you the idea of like the options that you have as far as building upon shit with the character, right? So like the mage, like she has like either the firebolt is her first attack, which starts triggering fire damage over time, like damage over time on guys, or she has like the ice, right, which generates mana when it hits the guy. And so like you look at that and you look like one step down the tree and start getting an idea of like if there's anything you can synergize with that. So like the rogue, he's got a main attack ability like the X button that basically when it's upgraded, it says that when the guy's less than 50, when you're less than 50% mana, that the attack basically makes guys vulnerable, right? And then the second attack, like in the second shit that you unlock, the flurry blades. The flurry blades have an upgrade node on it that says when they hit a guy that's vulnerable, it spreads vulnerability to everybody else that gets hit with the flurry attack. So now you know that, like, okay, when I have less than half mana and I do my regular attack, I'm going to put vulnerable on the guy I hit. And that flurry attack, you could take a node that says when you hit the guy with it, it generates mana. So basically, like, you dive bomb in with the rogue, you use the flurry attacks until you're out of mana. or almost less than 50%. And then you stab the guy with your main attack and he becomes vulnerable, and then you use the flurry and it puts vulnerability on the whole pack that he's standing next to. And then you either, like, you know, finish them off with more flurries, or you can caltrops and backflip out, slow everybody down. And then I picked to go concealed, because concealed, when it's upgraded, gives you half your mana back when you go into concealed. And so then basically now you're like, you're going up, you're smashing on the dudes, and then you're caltrop back flipping out, and then you're going concealed, and now you got half your mana right back, and you can dive bomb in again. And now you're under half mana because you dive back in, so you hit him with a regular strike that generates enough mana to do a flurry, but it also puts vulnerable on the guy because you're back under half mana, so you hit him with a flurry, and it spreads that shit to the pack. You know what I'm saying? And that's the combo loop. And you just get used to playing with the character in that loop. And then certain situations will happen where you have to break from your loop, but you know what I'm saying? You'll be so comfortable with the character at that point. Like boss fights, you can be like concealed from the outside if you're playing with just the daggers and you're not using the bow and arrow. So you use that concealment to like dive bomb in, hit the guy with a bunch of flurries, flip out with the caltrops, and then you go back into concealed again. Get half your mana back, reposition, wait for the dude, you know, and then dive bomb in and start your shit again and go through that loop. And so it's just really about like taking a look. Usually if you take a look at the first 2 to 3 sections of the skill tree, you can get an idea of different paths that you can take. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you'll know like kind of how to build the character. Like the barbarian, he has like an ability to make like guys bleed. And then he's got like a follow-up attack that does like tons of bleed damage to a guy. And then like in his third piece, he's got an ability that like basically makes all the bleed damage over time that's on him happen all at once when you hit him with that attack. So you like put a whole bunch of bleed on the dude. Normally he's gonna die anyway from like, but he's not gonna die for like 40 seconds when all the bleed damage, you know, basically ticks down on him. So instead you get all that bleed damage on him and then you hit him with the attack. And the barbarian is like really good for single target attacks. It's not so good as crowd management. And the wizard's like really powerful against crowd management, like shit like that. So it's just understanding like the strengths and weaknesses of the build, and then you're starting to use the gear that you find that gives you like +1 to an ability that you're already using. You know what I'm saying? Like you can take it, you know, for abilities that you're not using, you know, but typically it's better like if I already got like 2 points into flurry and I pick up a piece of gear that gives me +1 to flurry, now it's like I just spent an extra point. You know what I'm saying? Or there's shit on gear that says like all of your, you know, defensive abilities get +1 skills. Gives you an options and shit. And then you just basically want stats that, you know, assist that playstyle. So if I'm playing the rogue and I'm playing more with bows and all of my shit, I'm playing him ranged, that's a safer way to play him, you know what I'm saying, but does less damage or whatever the negative of that is. But you know what I'm saying, like then if there's a piece of gear that says I do more damage to distant enemies, like that's better to play if I'm playing a ranged type shit versus if I'm playing like just up close dive bombing in on the guys and I'm always in their face hitting with flurry. Then like doing damage to distant enemies is a wasted stat on my gear. I don't want it. You know what I mean? And then you'll just get comfortable with, you know, what the different stats do for the character. You know, typically strength improves your armor. You know, dexterity improves your chance to dodge, which is really, really important for the rogue, because he doesn't have like, he's nimble and fast like a ninja. He doesn't wear like a fucking suit of armor. So he relies on dexterity so that like guys have to swing at you like 5 times to hit you once when you start getting them good, you know? And the dexterity also makes his skill attacks do more damage. Like, so like all of his shit is based on dexterity. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, and then willpower is usually about how fast you regenerate your resource, like your mana pool. And intelligence usually is like your critical hit chance. But it's different on every character, so you just kind of peep it. Usually the barbarian, he's all about strength. That's going to give him tons of more armor so he can be in front of the guys and stand in the middle of the pack and be able to tank a bunch of damage, because he's got like hundreds of points of strength usually in the build, and and strength makes his attacks do more damage. You know what I'm saying? So he's based on like building armor and tons of strength, so he could just basically tank a mob. You know, where like the wizard and shit is all about intellect, so she can have tons and tons of mana, and you know, and that helps the damage that she does. And willpower is important, so you can recharge the mana faster, and dexterity is important so that you can, you know, get a lot of critical hits with the magic. But I was wrong. Like, Sorceress is probably the best class to play right now because she's ranged, and it seems like a lot of the bosses and shit are kind of fucking, you know, unbalanced to where they're really a lot more difficult to take with a melee character. They're dropping like poisons and shit like right under their feet, and they're making it a lot more difficult. So ranged characters are actually pretty good. But that's kind of how it goes. And then like some of the other characters are going to be, you know, just like offshoots kind of that, usually like blends of characters, you know what I mean? Like the Necromancer is all about like raising like minions and shit from the dead, usually from corpses, that then like you summon a whole bunch of shit that like fights for you. So either the Necromancer is going to be really fucking broken good or really broken bad. I don't think it's going to be a very balanced character, one or the other, you know what I'm saying? But you'll be able to, like, towards the end game, you're like, you know, you're summoning like armies of shit to fight for you, like 10, 12 guys, like skeletons or different summons that you're summoning, and they're getting in front of all the guys and taking all the damage and doing all the fighting, and you're able to stay safe behind like a fucking wall of fucking zombies and shit, you know? So there's all kinds of different stuff. I'm just so excited to fucking dive back into that shit. I just want the game out, you know. But I did notice like a lot of shit, you know, that, you know, some of that stuff is not going to change. I'm hoping that the dungeon layout improves with the different regions that you go to, and they were just the way that they were because it's early game, like only up to level 25. Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. But I noticed with the dungeon, like every dungeon layout seemed to be the same, and I was really disappointed that the cellars are the exact same every cellar. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Diablo is usually about when you go into the dungeon, it's completely like randomizes that dungeon. So like you have no idea, like even if you played the game 1,000 times, you don't know what you just walked into or where to go in the dungeon. But I saw that like we did like at least 15 of them. I probably did at least 10 dungeons with you, I would think, and I did like 30 on my own. And, you know, it was like every single time, and this is going to be like the end game content. Like you're going to be at the end game getting like nightmare keys to upgrade the dungeon to a nightmare difficulty and make the dungeon have like all enemies inside get like, let's say, plus 20% health, and you know, when enemies die, they explode for X amount of poison damage. Like, and by being able to go back in there and complete it, you get better rewards. And this is how the end game works. You get so strong that you level up your world tier, and then, you know, there's a bunch of stuff going on like that. But I noticed that in the dungeons, it's basically like the same mechanic, just labeled different. And the dungeon was almost the exact same layout, where you come in the dungeon, there's like a door towards like the middle back half of the dungeon, and the door needs either 2 keys, you know what I'm saying, or the door needs like you to kill like 2 or 3 packs of strong enemies in the dungeon, or it needs you to pull like 2 levers and shit to unlock the boss room door. And it was the same thing. It was just like the same exact mechanic, and there was no like labyrinth like dungeons, like there was no like going in and out of rooms. That's typically like how Diablo's set up, where you go in the dungeon, there's all these different paths and different rooms and shit that you're trying to work your way through to figure out how to get through the dungeon. And this was just like a straight linear path. And then you got to the door, and it was like, oh, okay, you look at your map and you realize, oh, I gotta go this over to the left and get, you know, that shit for the door, and then all the way to the right to get that shit for the door. And that was every mechanic of every dungeon. It was either, instead of it being like, get the key, it was pull the lever, or it was destroy, you know, the enemies, you know what I'm saying, to open the dungeon door. And that was really disappointing. I'm really hoping that they fucking have some different dungeon layouts. Because I was kind of worried about that. And you know, and the bosses at the different dungeons and shit were reused already. I just fought the same boss like at the end of the dungeon like 3 or 4 times. You know, and again, you know, at the end game, it might be that those bosses have like different affixes and shit, and they do different stuff, or they're different types or whatever. But what that causes, like, because Diablo eventually, like, you started off casual when you play through your first playthrough. You casually go through it, you play the story, whatever. Then usually when you get into the end game and you're starting to join with other people to do harder content, it's all about like running it as fast as you can to get it, you know, basically it becomes like a time thing where if you know what I'm saying, if you took this difficult dungeon that drops really good loot, instead of taking an hour to run it, you can blaze through it like 15 minutes and do 4 of them in an hour. You get a bunch more chances to get really good loot for your character that night. So it turns into that usually towards the end game, but you're already so good and accustomed to it because you beat the game and you're in game. So now, you know, now it's like you're really, you know, you're not thinking what button do I gotta click, that kind of shit at that point. And you're just running through the shit. You're like banging through the dungeons with other players as hard as you can, you know? And yeah, I'm just kind of worried that you know, the end game, I don't know. If you know, those dungeons need to be switched up. You know, there's got to be different mechanics than just what it does is it causes a lot of backtracking within the dungeon too, you know, because it's like you get to the door and then you got to go all the way to one end of the dungeon and come back with the key, and you can't carry 2 at once. So you backtrack back to the door, then you got to go to the other end of the dungeon, backtrack to the door again. And sometimes there's 3 of them in the dungeon, like 3 pedestals that you got to put some shit on to open the door. And if the first one's at like the beginning of the dungeon on an offshoot path that you missed, you have to like go all the way, like, oh, you open the map, oh shit, I was supposed to hang a left like 10 feet in the beginning of the dungeon, you know, then you got to backtrack all the way back to the beginning of the dungeon and go get the shit and come all the way back to the door again. So that's a lot of wasted time where you're not in combat and just basically eating time to basically, you know, backtrack through the dungeon. Now, backtracking is okay through the dungeon if it was more like complex as far as a labyrinth, you know, like where you're, you know, there's like different rooms and there's different shit going on. But this was just like one linear path to the door and 2 linear branching paths to the shit you had to get to open the door, and then like the samey boss fight at the end for every dungeon that was in that region. And so, you know, that region that we played, if you uncovered the entire part of the map, it's like 20% of the game world. It's like a 1/5 of what we played, you know? So I know the end game is going to end up being like different events that are going on, the world bosses. They have like this shit called Helltide, where an entire region, not like the region we played, but those little mini regions inside of the region, like the little areas that you discover. Like there's areas that become Helltide and like become like morphed with like, I don't know, like the demons and shit, and like it changes the look of the area, and you can go there and kill like difficult enemies to get like a certain resource to open like Helltide chests that drop like really rare loot and stuff like that. But you know, I know that we only got like up to level 25, which is considered like early game. Like you could easily take a character to level 25. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, especially for a veteran player, like I took all 3 of them, right? Or 2 of them, I think. And the other guy got to like 22. that's like early, just figuring out the character, seeing what you want to play. But I wasn't really impressed with the itemization yet. I had fun being able to craft my own shit. And, you know, and I don't know, you know, a lot of that stuff is going to be unanswered until the end game. Like, until you get deep in the game, are we then getting, like, drops of weapons that have crazy shit on them, crazy shit on the armor, like, build-defining stuff that you can find? You know what I'm saying? And they're saying yes. Like, they're saying yes, there's going to be, like, items that change the way that your abilities work, because I found the skill tree to be, like, kind of basic and simple. Like, when I was looking at the skill tree, I'm like, yeah, I could probably put together, like, 3 to 4 different play styles for each character. Maybe 2, like, 3 to 4 play styles, basically, for each character. And, you know, and out of that, you know, 1 or 2 of them are going to be the better one to build, for the most part. And I was hoping that it's not going to be, like, best in slot, you know, build guide, everybody's got the same builds, because this is the best way to put it together. And that it was going to be more, you know, who knows, right? So that might still be true. I think the items later in the game are going to be able to adapt and change the way your abilities work. You know what I'm saying? Where we started actually finding that, where we found a dagger that made Flurry do, like, its attack in all 360 directions instead of just in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And it really changed the way that would change, like, how the guy would playstyle would be. Because normally I'm going to target, like, the champion as far as the shadow step. I'm going to shadow step on the big tough guy so I can jump in, hit him real hard, stun him, and then put, like, my Dark Blade shit on him. And then fucking start doing my regular attack to get vulnerable on him, and then keep hitting him with the flurry until he explodes and explodes the rest of the pack from the shadow shit that I put on the blades. You know what I'm saying? But it changes it if you're doing it in 360 directions, you know, then maybe, like, you want to shadow step onto a little guy who's in the center of the pack, and then flurry, and then you're flurrying in all 360 directions, hitting everybody around you. I mean, there's just like shit like that could adapt and change the way you play. And then once you get to World Tier 3, they're going to start dropping unique items that, like, basically they're not randomly rolled. They're like specific, like, really rare drops. You might get, like, one of them every couple days, like one every 3 days playing, and those have, like, super, like, total game-changing, like, build-defining things on them that completely change the way that the character can perform. So it should be good. I mean, I'm excited. I think it's going to be good. The only thing I'm really worried about right now, to be honest, I had a lot of fun with the beta. I expected a lot of shit to be broken. I expected that the servers were going to have some issues. And I expected, like, the class it not to be really that balanced, especially, like, up to level 25. Like a level 25 like the Barbarian, I think just starts off weak. And, like, so when you're looking at it in a snapshot of the beta, where you're like thinking, like, end game mentality because you beat the beta and your character's level 25, then you're starting to compare, like, the balancing of the characters and shit like that. And it's not really, like, a fair, like, decision that you're making on it, I think, or some of these cats are making on it, because I think, like, in the later part of the game, like, then the Barbarian will end up getting really, really strong, because his perk is that he's able to carry more weapons than anybody else, right? So it gives him a chance to have more legendary affixes going on than any other character. So where most characters, like even the rogue, he's got the 2 daggers, and then he's got, you know, the bow, you know what I'm saying? Like, the sorcerer's got either an offhand and a wand, or just one big staff for both hands. But the Barbarian, he gets like 2 axes, a big ass axe hammer thing, and then another weapon too, and that he pulls out when he's doing these different abilities, and you can assign which abilities use what weapon. But that gives him, like, a big opportunity to get a ton of stats from 4 additional weapons. Like, he's definitely going to get at least 2 over every other character. Over a sorcerer who's using like a two-handed weapon, he's getting like 4 additional weapons over her, you know? So that turns into like all these different, like if they all have plus like 20 something strength on them, and you know what I'm saying, they all like give him like crazy ability shit and unlock skill points and do all kinds of stuff, you know, then towards the back end, he's super strong. He's hella strong, you know what I'm saying? But in the early game, until he like unlocks a lot of his skills, I think he's kind of weak because he's kind of geared more to be like a big single target hitter. Like he's better like in the party to go after the big chunky fucking elite guys, and he's good to bring to the boss battles and like shit like that, because he does really good single attack damage, like, you know. Whereas like the rogue's like in the middle of him and a sorcerer, and then the sorcerer's like really all about crowd control, you know, and fighting from range, which is turning out to be already like the way to go is ranged. So we'll just see, you know, we'll just see how it plays out. I really don't give a shit because I know that the balance and all that stuff and all the fixes and all the shit will happen eventually after the game releases. But I had a ton of fun with the beta, like, you know what I'm saying? I only thought about these things when I sat down and started like kind of reviewing my playtime. I had a blast with it. I'm really hyped to play it. And even if the dungeons are like that, then I just don't get so much more, you know, then I'll just get bored of the end game quicker, which by that time I should already be like 100 hours into the game. And if that's the case, you know, then hopefully the seasons are interesting enough every 3 months where, you know what I'm saying, there's new shit to work towards and stuff like that, you know, as part of the seasons, and the end game content is difficult and challenging enough, you know what I'm saying, and rewarding enough that you want to continue to push into the higher world tiers to get more crazy loot and continue to make that character super strong. And then there's always the hardcore mode, which if I was going to play hardcore, I'd put the game on easy. Like I'd put the game on like rookie easy mode, but make a hardcore character that basically if he dies, that's it. You lose the character. You can play with the character for like 100 hours and invest all kinds of shit into that character. And if the fucker dies, that character's done. He's dead. So that becomes like more of like how far can you go with a hardcore character, you know what I'm saying? And it's not so much like you get really you try not to get too attached to a hardcore character, you know, you get really attached to your main characters, which I did. Like they did a really good job of that piece to get me attached to my character. Like by the end of the beta, I was like attached to the sorcerer I built, the way she looked, the weapons that I was carrying, the way I built her character out, you know. And I went through the skill tree like after the beta ended, and I kind of realized like there's even more powerful shit I could have been doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a staff that gives me like double damage when I got a barrier up. And there's so many different ways that in the perk tree that I missed that I could have been generating a barrier and all kinds of other stuff. So for the enchantments, instead of having that like blizzard that was coming down like every 15 seconds, I could have placed Fireball there, and its enchantment ability says that when an enemy dies, they explode for the damage of Fireball and hurt every enemy around them. So then you can like max out Fireball and then just put it in the enchantment slot, not the slot where you actually press a button to do it. It just makes it that when you kill a guy, he's going to explode like you hit him with a huge fireball, and it's going to do all that damage to all the guys around him. So now you're able to start killing mobs really quickly, because you kill 2 of them. It's like you threw 2 fireballs at the pack when they explode. So it's going to get interesting and really fun, and you know, it's going to be flexible like that, and it should be a good time. Should be a good time. There's a lot of high expectations for the game because of how much of a huge cult following. Obviously, everybody in the fucking world was on that beta this week, and you know what I'm saying? Like Diablo, like it's been around for like the perfect mix of generations. You know, from guys like me, I was playing Diablo 1 on like a gateway PC back in the day when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? And obviously Diablo 2 was such a hit. And then like some of the newer age cats, like younger kids, they got into Diablo like during Diablo 3. And so, you know, there was a big conflict with Diablo 3 when it dropped because the guys that came from Diablo 1 and 2, they didn't like the look of the game because it felt too cartoony. It looked kind of like World of Warcraft. It didn't have like that dark vibe to it. But like the newcomers, they were the cats that were playing World of Warcraft and all kinds of other shit, so they didn't really mind a lot of it. And the game mechanics and the actual gameplay was so good that, you know, they put thousands of hours into D3, you know. So anyways, I guess the point is that there's a lot of expectations for the game to kind of live up to its hype, which I'm sure it will do, because at the end of the day, it's Diablo. And I think with this Diablo Immortal shit they put out on cell phones, like last year or the year before, it was like basically a money grab. It was like pay to win, and Blizzard got so much fucking negative feedback from that shit, like predatory type microtransaction like shit, that like they if they fuck Diablo 4 up, they're gonna basically, they might be like a huge publisher that loses a majority of their fan base. And these guys make like some of the most amazing games ever. They make like Hearthstone, just like a card game. You know what I'm saying? They make Overwatch, which is like a team deathmatch like shooter. And obviously World of Warcraft. I mean, it's probably the biggest game ever made. One of them. Definitely like, you know, the longest surviving MMO game. How many people, you know, play World of Warcraft still tons and tons of people. I never really got into it. It's always too cartoony and shit for me. But you know, they got a lot to live up to, so we'll see. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, I haven't played a game in so long where when I'm not playing it, I'm thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even like Horizon Dawn, God of War, like shit like that, those games are fucking outstanding, and I was excited to come back to them at the end of the day, but I wasn't sitting there at work thinking about fucking nothing but God of War. I'm like literally like fucking, I wake up thinking about Diablo. Like, this shit is fucking crazy. Because I know where it's gonna go, you know what I mean? And now that I've got like a taste of it, it's like, oh fuck, how am I gonna fucking last 90 days? Or whatever it is. June. I gotta wait all of April, all of May. Then I think because we got the deluxe, we get in like a whole 4 days early or something. But honestly, like we're probably, if they put a sale on for D3, me and you should get that and get it. That way you can get like accustomed to this shit even more. You can play through D3 like hella stupid casual. You know what I'm saying? Then by the time D4 comes out, you'll be like already so familiar with everything, and I just want to play a form of Diablo anyways, like so I could scratch my itch at the same time. Yeah, I mean, usually the game's on sale for like $20. But they're smart. They know, like, they you know, psychologists in their team are like, yeah, after the beta's done, we're expecting like 20%, 22% increase in Diablo 3 sales during the period of the beta and the, you know, the launch of D4. Because there's cats like me now that's got an itch to scratch, and I just went through Diablo 2 like, I don't know, less than a few months ago. I mean, we could get on Diablo 2 if you want, but it's, you know, it's a little too old school right now for me. I mean, but I'd go and build like a character type that I haven't built before, and no, but it's a little too dated even with the newer version of it for me. Diablo 3, you know, looks a little cartoony, but it's very similar to what we're kind of playing. It's more similar to that than Diablo 2 is. That's my rant. don't know. I was thinking about playing Crusader Kings tonight, and then I opened it and closed it. And then, just couldn't really think of what to play tonight. This is coming right off the system. It's taking up 90 gigabytes. I'm not fucking lit. There's a game that's very similar that just dropped. What's it called? Fuck. I don't know. I have to look up the title of the game, but IGN was saying that the game's so bugged that they couldn't even complete the game due to the bugs. So I was like, alright, fuck that. Path of Exile is the game I was talking about that's like impenetrable at this point for a new player to start playing. But that's like kind of Diablo's direct competitor right now as well. They're borrowing some systems from that game, like the Paragon board and everything. It's coming from kind of like how they do it in Path of Exile. The Path of Exile is really overwhelming. It's really crazy. You open that skill tree and there's over 300 nodes on the skill tree. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's mad complex. Like, if you want to change your abilities, like, it's like upgrade gems and combinations and shit like that on the items. It's crazy. I don't even want to dive into it. Because it's so complex. And I'm usually not pushed off by complexity. I usually like it. But that shit just looks like a chore at this point to get into. So, I don't know. It'll probably be beta time this weekend, and then maybe Diablo 3 after for a little bit. Anyway, I'm down to like watch something, I guess, if you're still up. Are you still here? I've been pacing around, I haven't been watching the screen. Am I even still streaming? Yeah, you're still here. Cool. So I don't know. That witch movie that you brought up the other night, I've already seen that. I wasn't really like a big fan of it. But I'm still down to like watch something if you want to watch something. Or I could try to spin something out that doesn't suck. This game. I mean, this game doesn't suck, I'm just not feeling it right now. At all. There's the cloth for my glasses, I'm looking for that. What? Me peek cause eek? What? Well, I have to end the stream to kind of see like what's going on, so I'm gonna back out of this and delete it, and then I'll see if I'm gonna pull anything else up, or if I can find a show or something, and I'll text you and we'll jump on. Alright. They came out with Venom and Morbius for the Marvel game, and Storm is gonna be next.